Hello guys, so I'm going to just start from a clean Google application page, and then I'm going to search for UCT student housing. And then I'm going to choose this third option here, student housing UCT students University of Cape Town. And then this takes me to this UCT web page or website, as you can see. And to be precise, I'm under the students tab, under student life and student housing, to be more precise. And then so I wanted to just take you through the general idea of how student housing in UCT works, or rather how the management chooses students to come to UCT, and just a quick overview of the whole process in general, because I've been getting a lot of questions on about the same topic. So basically, if you still don't have an idea of what the student housing is all about, so basically UCT provides different types of accommodation for both undergrads and postgraduate students, and these accommodations can both be on campus and off campus. So some accommodations, they are within campus, others are off campus, and you will need to commute every day to school and back and so forth. So there's usually different categories. So we have the first tier residences, second tier residences, and we have the third tier residences. So first tier are basically full catering residences, and by full catering they mean they provide for you meals. So you pay for a meal plan to eat in the residence cafeteria. Then a second tier residence is where you provide for yourself. So you cook for yourself your own meals. And then that tier is a semi self catering, basically, so half of this and half of that. And then so as I said, first tier accommodations is usually for students who are under the age of 21, and this is usually normally first year undergrad students who are coming to the university for the very first time. They will be placed in a first tier accommodation where they'll be provided 3 meals, up to 3 meals in a day in the dining hall or in the residence cafeteria, basically. And then also these residents, they have common room spaces for TV, a lounge, meetings, such things. And you also have access to swimming pool. Not all residences have swimming pool, but the ones that do have, you have access to that. And then we have the second tier. As I said here, you provide for your own meals. So here you are literally provided with a room, and in second tier accommodation, all rooms are single rooms, so you don't share with anyone. But in first tier accommodations, some of the rooms are double rooms and single rooms. So if you're lucky to get a single room, you don't share. But if you get a double room, you share with one more person. And then that tier is basically normally mostly for senior postgraduate students, basically. And then we also have accommodations for students with spouses and dependents. And by dependents, they mean like if you have a kid, or let's say you're pregnant when you're coming to school, the UCT community also considers that. So there's the JP Damini residence is mainly for students with spouse and such needs, and it's usually also off campus, and it's very it's a very short distance from upper campus, so it's literally just like a 10 minutes walk to get to campus, basically. And then so we can go check into like the UCT residence system for the time being. And this is basically like what are the criteria that they normally follow when they are allocating students and everything. So so I already talked about how residences are organized in terms of like first tier all the way to that tier residences. And also in the residences, we have, of course, leadership positions. We have like wardens, we have house committees who carry the responsibility for the resident students that are in that particular res, and their main cooperation or work is to create a more friendly, comfortable environment for the students, for them to be able to pursue their academic objectives and to achieve basic you know personal growth. So there's wardens, sub-wardens, house committee. So there's all sorts of leadership positions. So you are literally never alone when you're in a UCT res. There's people to, take care in case of an emergency, in case you're sick, and every res has their own procedures. So once you get to your, UCT res, they will guide you through the procedure for that particular res, basically. And then, so what about off-campus accommodation? So not every student will get, an in-campus, residence. So there are some UCT off-campus residences that, are available. And when I say off-campus, I don't mean like they are very far from campus. It's just, they're a bit a distance off from campus. But there's also the Jammy shuttles, that usually run all throughout the cities to make sure that students who are staying in off-campus student accommodations, they have a practical way to getting to school and back in the same way. So, UCT usually gives there's a whole list of accommodations and places that they recommend for students to stay who are looking to stay off campus, basically. So this is some of the lists of off-campus accommodations. So all these places are all near UCT. So there's like off-campus in Mowbray, Rosebank, Claremont, Observatory, all the way, and they also show you like the rental fee that you pay and the room type if you're sharing with two people and such type of stuff. What is the type of accommodation? Is it a house? Is it a cottage? Is it a studio apartment? And also they show you like availability of the transports, if you can use public transport to come to school, if you can use the Jammy UCT transport, and so on. They also show you the facilities that are available in those off-campus applications. So if you're not lucky to get into UCT residence system, there's here a list of so many off-campus applications, apartments that the UCT has recommended for students to look for or to apply to, basically. And as I said, they also have all types of ranges depending on how much money you want to stay for your rental fee and such on, basically. And then so let's also go through like residence life, basically. So in general, like as I said before, there's residence committees and a house committee that comprises of warden, head student, and so on. And also we have different portfolios. They have like your academic rep, we have entertainment rep that make sure that you never get stressed so much. There's some fun for you to do in the residence and such on. And all these positions are open for students to apply, so it's a good chance for you to practice your student leadership as well. And then in terms of meal options, so as I said, some students will go to catering residences. So basically, where UCT provides for you catering services. So they provide for you up to 21 meals per meals, and this is basically 3 meals every day. So 7 days a day, 3 meals per day. And there's many plans, so you're not necessarily forced to pay for all the 3 meal options. So let's say you are choosing to stay in a catering residence, but you only want to pay for let's say breakfast and dinner, or only for lunch and dinner. You don't have to pay for all the meals, But of course, as a student, it's always advisable for you to pay for all the meal plans, because sometimes school can get hectic and you need all your healthy nutrients, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But also this depends on how you are planning to carry on your academic year. Let's say, for example, you know yourself that you have very early classes and always running late, so you won't be able to include breakfast time in your schedule, so you can just choose to go for the lunch and dinner option. And also you can choose, maybe you don't want meal options on the weekends, because maybe you want, on the weekends you'll be going home, let's say your family stays nearby, so you can only choose for breakfast, lunch, and dinner maybe Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday you don't have a meal option because maybe you go home and such on, so you provide for yourself during the days that you are not included in the meal plans, basically. And then remember, all meal plans, they are usually all balanced diets, and they cater for needs. Let's say if you are vegetarian and so on, so there's those options for students. And yeah, so they usually try and accommodate as many needs as possible. And there's usually like at most two options. So let's say for breakfast there'll be two options for you to choose on. It's not like one thing for everyone, so you can have two options, like option A, option B, and then you choose depending on what you find or what you want to eat at that particular time, basically. And then in terms of another thing you would want to know is resonance. So basically this is the Wi-Fi system. So there's Wi-Fi everywhere in residences, so you should not worry about that. So there's Wi-Fi, and once you come to UCT and registered, you'll be given a Wi-Fi password and such stuff, so you shouldn't worry about all that. So yeah, so also in terms of shuttle services, there's shuttle services all throughout the res that pick students from res to campus. So all you need to know is check the res timetable. So there's usually a shuttle service timetable that you check, so that you plan yourself according to the timetable, because it's a very strict timetable. And if the shuttle says it leaves at 1 p.m. at that particular location, it will leave at 1 p.m. No one will wait for you. So that is just some of the things you'll have to get adjust to, is to get used to campus life and everything. And yeah, so let's go to applying for residence. So definitely there are criteria for you to be able to apply for res. So of course you have to have first an admission to study at UCT. And as I said, or if I didn't say, when you're applying for UCT for a first time, there's usually you know a section that they ask you if you in need of res or not. So make sure you tick that you're in need of res if you are looking forward to stay in a UCT residence system. And unfortunately, the applications for the academic year 2021 are already closed as I shoot this video, but the same principles still apply for the following years to come, and so on. And then yeah, so this is basically just all the criteria for being eligible. But the most important one is, before you can be considered for UCT student housing, you have to have an offer, can be conditional or a firm offer of admission for you to study in the following academic year. So for example, now it's 2020, so if you had submitted your application for you to be considered for UCT, then after submission they will review your application, and then if you have a conditional or firm offer for admission, then you are eligible for you to apply for UCT housing for that year 2021, for example. So yeah, and then um maybe let's look on student housing, like admissions policies. So maybe here you can, can go read for yourself. It's a very long document, but basically it's all the, policies that ensure that all students are, treated well, equality, and they are comfortable in the student races as well. So you can go through that and check that on your own time. And then so here we have students frequently asked questions, and I feel like already covered most of all this. So basically UCT student accommodation accommodates almost 6,800 students in the residence system. So there's so many residences, so so that they ensure that everyone, or at least almost everyone, is accommodated for, basically. And then so basically the other thing I wanted to to talk about mostly, that I feel that I haven't talked about, is the residence fee structure, because a lot of people usually ask how much is it for you to pay for res and such thing. And also remember that there's different residence fees depending on which residence you are looking to stay in. So if you're looking to stay in, for example, self catering, so basically there you are cooking for yourself, so you have, of course your residence fee will be lesser compared to someone who is staying at a catering residence, because for you, you are not paying for meals, to be precise. So yeah, so basically the prices for for staying in res, as I said, um depends on which res you're staying. And there's also application fees, and they are stated here. There are like application fees when you're applying for res and everything. And then they also give you like payment methods on how you can pay. So they stated here you can pay through the bank account for UCT and so forth. And then so I'm trying to look for the exact place they talk about the amount of school residence fee that you pay annually. But if I don't find it, because I already know it, I will share with you guys. But in just a moment, let's try and see if I will find the exact link that talks about how much students are supposed to be paying for a particular race. So okay, so as I look for that, um you may also be wondering, like, in terms of like when I'm coming to res, what should I bring, along with me to res? Should I come with a mattress and so on? So, of course, a bed, mattress is provided. So, you don't need to bring like furniture because it's already there, but you will be needed to bring your own beddings, like duvet, sheets, pillowcases. You also need to bring a padlock. You will need to bring like your own desk lamp, rug, coffee mugs, things to make at least you feel like at home and such stuff. You can bring posters for your walls to decorate your room and such things. And then also students are not allowed to keep pets at all at the university, so you're not allowed to bring pets. And then these housekeeping services, but they are limited. It's not like they will come clean your room, but they're entitled to clean the common places, the bathrooms, the lounges. They will, clean those. And once in a while, they are allowed to come and fumigate your rooms. So you also be, advised on that when you come to res and so on. So yeah, so in case you are wondering like what to bring and and so on and such stuff. And then so I can't seem to find the exact place about the prices. I can't seem to find where exactly it's stated. But then also I would want to go through vacation accommodation. So basically, vacation accommodation is accommodation for when school is closed, basically, because not all students are able to go home for, let's say, for the mid-year vacation. Because let's say you're an international student and like the mid-year vacation is like 3 weeks, and it's not really necessary for you to go home. So there is vacation accommodation. So once that time will come, they will advise you to which vacation accommodation will be used for that particular year. So let's say you stay in a particular res and then school is closed. Of course, that residence will close because most of the students have gone home, but at least they'll leave one accommodation or student res that will be open for all the students that are not going home to come and accommodate during the holiday in that particular place. So do not worry about being stranded, about where should you go when when school is closed and so on. But also you should note that there is different rates than the normal ones for vacation accommodation, and you'll also be advised when you are applying for that how much you'll pay for vacation accommodation, because it's different from the normal fee that you pay for the normal term student res housing fee, basically. And then so I feel like I've covered everything except for the prices. But so the prices normally, or we can just search them. Uct residence fees. Yeah. So I think it's here. Yeah. So the residence fee. So remember I said before that depends with if you staying self-catering, catering, and so on. So the initial amount of residence fee is 35,000, and this is an annual amount for catering. So basically this is if you are staying in a catering where they provide for you meals, 3 times a day every day. So you pay 35,000 for the whole year. And if you're staying where you cook for yourself, you pay 23,000 for the whole year. And of course, you must pay this before coming to school. So yeah, so there's more information if you want to call and check more on that. This is the number and the email and so on. But yeah, so basically that's all I could think to share with you in terms of student res accommodation here at UCT. And I am thankful for you to having listen to me up to this particular point, and I want to wish you all the best if you're looking forward to coming to study at UCT. It's one of the best universities in Africa. It's literally called the Harvard of Africa, so it's a big opportunity and you should grasp it and come shape your future here at UCT. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you'd like to know more about UCT. And I also don't mind if there's something you didn't grasp. I don't mind answering your questions or repeating something. So kindly reach out to me. You can find my email in my channel where you can reach out to me if you want to privately talk about something about UCT and so on. So again, thank you so much, and bye.